Hi there and welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name is Caroline. I'm a knitter based in St. Paul, Minnesota. And this is where I chat about my knitting because I knit a lot and I need to talk about it. I have a light that makes my lighting a little less tragic, but it will be showing up in my glasses. Fair warning. And yeah, I just wanted to come in. It's been a little while, post a little video or film a little video to talk about everything I've been up to because I've kind of been up to a lot. I hope everyone's doing well, having like a cozy mid-January. We're getting through the month, so that's really exciting. We're having a lot of snow here, so I haven't been up too much, but tonight I'm going out to my uncle's and we're doing a pizza night, and I was going to play D&D, but that has fallen through. My brother is visiting in town from Japan. He's in the Air Force, and so I ended up having to hang out with him tonight instead of play D&D, and then someone else is feeling kind of ill. They didn't want to risk it, so it looks like we're rescheduling. And then beyond that, we had my grandmother's 80th birthday party. That was really nice. Got to see a lot of long distantly related relatives, so that was really great. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. I have also been taking a weaving class, but we'll talk more about that in a little bit. It's just a little 3-week, 1 day a week thing, but I'm really enjoying that. So welcome. Maybe let's jump into finished objects. I only have one thing that is truly finished, which is my second Lotte sock. Here she is. I've worn them. I don't have sock blockers, and I don't think I'm gonna get them because I find, one, my feet kind of block the socks themselves, and two, I don't really want anything to stretch out my socks. I'd rather my feet stretch out my socks, if that makes sense. So I don't want them to come kind of pre-stretched out, and I'm sure they work for a lot of people, but I'm also having a hard time finding ones that I really enjoy. So I don't really want to buy something if it's not the beautiful thing that I want to own forever. So I'm kind of holding out for sock blockers that I find truly gorgeous, and we'll see. I guess what I'm wearing, I forgot to talk about that. This is my Eowyn blouse. It's cropped. I'm wearing it with a pair of Lucy and Yak jeans, if you're interested. If you like jeans, they're the Dana Mom jeans. They're really cute. But anyway, this I knit out of Knitting for Olive pure silk, held double because it ended up being way too light for this pattern. So the pure silk is about 250 meters for 50 grams, which for like a fingering weight is very fine. So I held it double and I used 3.5 millimeter needles, and I think my gauge ended up being, oh my gosh, my bangs look awful. One sec. Jeez, they're rough. I need to trim them. Anyway, I think my gauge ended up being maybe a little tight, but I need to check my notes on that. But I knit it anyway. I find this shirt fits really well. I made a lot of modifications, and I feel like I've talked about them in one of my videos, because I think I've worn this top in one of my videos. But basically, I didn't do the puff sleeves. It's also on my Ravelry, I think. I didn't do the puff sleeves. I didn't do the ruffle. I can add it. I have extra yarn, but I don't think I'm going to. I really like how simple this top is. I do think it's a little shorter than I want it, but that's not the end of the world for me, so it's fine. And then let's see what else. I knit the sleeves significantly shorter. I always find Fabel Knitwear's patterns, this pattern's by Fabel Knitwear, tend to have very long sleeves for me. I think she might have long arms or something, but so I knit the sleeves like way shorter than she suggested, like a couple inches long, I think. And then on the end, because I skipped the increases for the ruffles, I was kind of figuring this part out myself, And I added in like a bunch of knit two togethers just in the, I think it was, again, I need to check my Ravelry, but I think it was just in the arm part of the raglan. I just knit two together for the last couple of rows, I think, so that this part up here would be in, like kind of cinched in. And then I think I might have done that as the last row on the back too, because I really didn't want this slipping off my sleeves or my, wow, I didn't want this slipping off my shoulders. And I've noticed with a lot of Fabel knitwear patterns, the necklines tend to be a little too wide for me. So I just did that and it fits pretty perfectly. There is some bunching here. I think that happens a lot with raglans for me. It's not the end of the world. I really, really like this silk. I remember this kind of being painful to knit on. I think it was because I was holding it double. The silk is very splitty. So it was just kind of a lot and I was very happy to be done with it. But I do kind of think I'd go for another one of these. One of my whips is one of these, spoiler alert. I haven't actually started it yet, but I've knit a gauge swatch and that's a superwash merino, not a silk. So, you know, we'll see if I decide to do a silk. I have a cup of oolong tea. It's not quite as hot as it was 10 minutes ago when I made it, but it's fine. This was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I hope you also have some tea or some knitting or something cozy to do while watching this. Yeah. My mug has carrots on it. It's my favorite tea mug. I love it a lot. Okay, yeah. These socks are done. They fit really well. I'm very happy with them. Would knit again. So I like this pattern a lot. It's in 52 weeks of socks, but you might be able to buy it. We might now be able to buy the patterns individually. I don't know about if that's 100% true. That's my only actually finished object. Yeah, so now we can talk about works in progress. We'll start with the big one. And the pretty much only thing that's actually started is this. This is my Ingrid sweater that I am knitting in Knitting for Olive, heavy merino and mohair in the color Fennel Seed. It's very cute. Parts of this have been an absolute slog to the point that I don't want to knit on it anymore, or I haven't wanted to knit on it anymore, which is why I gauge watch for another project, because I don't really want to make myself work on something. Oh my goodness, they're crazy today. I don't want to make myself work on something if I'm not feeling it, because I want to appreciate making something like this. I don't want to think like, oh my gosh, when I look back on it, like that was kind of a painful knit to finish. So I want to have something else, I think, to work on. And I was thinking a pair of socks, but I couldn't decide on a pattern. So I decided on something else, but this is what we're working with so far. I'm almost done with the body. I'm on the ribbing because I'm cropping this. So I'm making pretty significant adjustments to it. I didn't adjust anything in the yokes. So everything up until where you join the round is the same. This section here, I think I knit fewer rows. That's also in my Ravelry. I will actually link my Ravelry this time. I knit fewer rows of the moss stitch, mostly because it took me, I think, like 2 days to knit this. I hated every moment of it. I don't know why. Most of the time I find I enjoy moss stitch quite a bit, but this time I was not enjoying it. So I was like, just stop, because this is going to be plenty long, considering I wanted to hit pretty much like, you know, here. Probably a little lower than that so it can be tucked in, but I think we're pretty bang on for that happening with this. And then I knit that little eyelet moment, and then I very obviously only knit the exact same number of rows down here as I did up here, instead of doing the double. And then I went down and I skipped the entire section of double rib. I don't care for it that much, and I knew even like a little bit of it would make it too long. So I skipped all that. The sleeves are going to be a bit of an experiment. Because I have to figure out the math for the decreases. I think I'm going to keep everything pretty consistent until after this section in the sleeves. I'm only going to do that once, and then I'm going to figure out my decreases from there, is kind of my plan. So yeah, what else? I'm going to knit the collar following the instructions for the Moby sweater. I just need to decide if I want to pick up the same amount of stitches as the Moby sweater or more, because this feels like a larger neck hole, because you're supposed to have that funnel neck. I don't want the funnel neck. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a double folded neckband in the exact same method as the Moby sweater, because I really, really enjoyed it. I'm very excited for this. I think it'll work well with a lot of my skirts, my jeans. They're all high-waisted. And all my dresses. I think this is gonna be great, because I just think my Moby sweater I really love for the cozy factor, but it doesn't, I don't find it as flattering as like something like this. And I guess the point isn't for it to be flattering, but I think this is cuter is what I'm trying to get at. So that's where we're at. We are working on the ribbing at the bottom. I think I'm only gonna do 20 rows. And then it'll be the 2 rows of double knitting and the Italian bind off. And then I'll be done with the body. So that's where she is at. Let's see. I have a project, that I'm starting. I don't think today, because I really want to get the body bound off. But probably once I get the body bound off, I might block that before I do the neck and the sleeves. So then I'll cast this on while I'm waiting for that to dry. But this is just a little swatch. It's so cutie, and it's for an Eowyn blouse. Ooh, look at all the colors. I am a big fan of low contrast variegated yarns. I have not, before I think this purchase that I'm about to talk about, I was not really buying indie dyed yarn because it was a little intimidating to me in terms of the price, and a lot of it, it's funny, I'm pretty anti superwash, but I have a lot of superwash indie dyed yarn, or not a lot, I have some, and then I am planning on making a big superwash indie yarn order tomorrow, and I'm just gonna work around it. It's fine, and this yarn is so gorgeous. I don't care. I don't care. So this is going to be for an Eowyn blouse. It's beautiful. I love the little, they're like green and red and blue speckles in here that I just find so gorgeous. And then the base color is kind of a purpley brown, which is so nice. And there's bits of like a warmer brown in there. And this is Burrow from Woolberry Fiber Co. in the berry tweed fingering base. This is a little finer than the yarn suggested for the Eowyn blouse, which is what this will be. Not as fine as this yarn was, so I don't have to worry about holding it double or anything. That's not what I'm doing. But I am going to be knitting this. This swatch is with 3.5mm needles. I'm also knitting my, oh my goodness, my Ingrid sweater with 3.5mm needles, and then I went down to 3.25 for the ribbing, and I think I'm going to go all the way down to 3mm for the neck. So that's that. But this is going to be 3.5mm needles because I really like the fabric that makes. I'm going to be knitting size 4. My bust is 109 centimeters. I don't know the inches. I think because I started with Fabel knitwear patterns, I just measured in centimeters, and then I now only know my bust in centimeters. But I knit size 4. I think it's 110 centimeters finished bust for this pattern for size 4, I think, and the next one is 117, and I don't want that much positive ease in a sweater like this or a top like this. I want it to be kind of snug. So here's the thing. You might see me frogging this. because this is not meeting gauge. The 4mm might have met gauge, but I didn't like the fabric. I thought it was too open, and superwash doesn't bloom that much, I don't think. So I just didn't want to do 4mm needles. I want to do 3.5. So it's about 3 whole stitches off, which adds up to a lot. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try knitting it size 4, and then if that doesn't work, I will rip it out and knit size 5 because I have enough yarn for both of them. So I have 2 skeins of this, and I caked it up yesterday. 1 skein, 2 skeins. So yeah, you only need, I like this pattern a lot because you only need 200 grams. I think some of the much larger sizes probably require a 3rd skein, but I know I'm super safe just doing 200 grams of fiber because I also make so many modifications to it. You know, I don't add little poofs on the shoulders. I probably won't add the ruffle either. And I make my sleeves so much shorter that I'm not worried about running out of yarn. And I have another quantity of this in the shade Moody Pumpkin that might end up becoming one of these tops. I also am going to be ordering some yarn tomorrow to make probably one of these. Maybe I could also do a Cozy Classic Raglan Light from Jessie May. I like her stuff. That's cute, and I could just make that into a t-shirt, but I kind of like the square neck. So, or I've also been looking at the Golden Oak Tank by Amanita Knits. Those are things I've kind of been thinking about. I was thinking about that one for this, but I just really don't want to knit a tank top right now. I do want that for the summer though, so I think I'm getting into that headspace, which is good because last year I was not in that headspace at all for summer. I wanted to knit sweaters. So yeah, this is a future whip that I am very, very excited for. It's so soft. It's insanely soft, and I love the little tweedy bits. I think they're so nice. So very excited about that. Those are my knitting whips. Let me just take a little tea break. We can talk about spinning whips. Oh my gosh. It's back there. I've knit more, or I've spun more. It's not this exactly. This is my very first spin that I have balled up to use for a weaving project, which is kind of what the goal was for this. When I saw how uneven it was, I knew I was going to be taking this weaving class, and I said, okay, I'll save this for my weaving class and it'll be pretty perfect. It's fantastic for that. But I have like a worsted weight that I'm working on knitting a sweater quantity of in this same, it's the same fiber. It's a mixed wool. I don't know the exact content in that wool. It's from the Woolery. It's just Rosie's Wool Cloud Top. They just send you a giant bag. It's like a pound of fiber for, I want to say $15, $16, which is great if you're learning and you need to practice. And it's really pretty easy fiber to spin. So very, very nice. I would recommend if you're looking for just some cream fiber to learn spinning on. But I have 2 more skeins of that. I have no idea how long they are. I need to do the yardage measurements, but they're pretty good, I think. Let me just go get them. So this is my first spin, or my second spin after this, of this like worsted weight yarn. And looking at it now, it's pretty underplied, I think, if we look at it. Whoa. It's pretty thick and thin. It's definitely not perfect. It seems underplied to me. So I have that one. That's my first one. This one is my next spin, so my 3rd spin on my wheel. And I got 2 skeins. I filled up 2 bobbins while plying. I filled my initial bobbins pretty full, about as full as this bobbin is now. And then I plied them. because I knew I'd probably get about 2 skeins out of it. I, again, don't know the weight of this. I don't know the yardage. I have a pretty small nitty knotty, which is a bummer. I didn't realize how small it was when I was buying it, but this one I plied up first, so it's bigger, and I think it's pretty good by my standards. So when I took this off the nitty knotty, it had a bit of that twist in it that made me think it was overspun or overplied. So when I plied up this one, I gave it less spin. However, after, and it's so silly because I knew this. I've read this comment on like the spinning Reddit and stuff. But after I washed this one and thwacked it, this one's perfect. It's no excess spin at all. It's gorgeous. So then this one is a little bit underspun, but I'm not stressing about it. So I have 3 random amounts of yarn that I think I'm eventually going to be making this into a nurtured sweater by Joy Rickard Knits. I just need to figure out how much fiber I actually have, because yeah, oof, it's not a very good skein. Okay, yeah, I need to figure out the yardage that I have and the yardage that I need, and then do a lot of swatching. So that's my spinning that I've been doing, but I also have another fiber that I've been working with, which is this one. Okay, ignore the end. I never know what to do with these, with the ends of these, to stop them from like untwisting. So I just give them a little knot. But this is purple, which is funny because I don't really like purple, but it's like a purpley bluey fiber that I got from the Woolery. Sorry, cucumber's being cute. I got it from the Woolery. And what else? Oh, it's a merino bamboo top. So I decided to just give it a try spinning it. I thought it would be quite difficult because it's a merino, and I've heard merino can be difficult for beginners because it's has a shorter staple length, so it's a little slippy from what I understand. This is lovely to spin with. Unfortunately, I don't know the fiber content exactly. I didn't write it down. It's not listed on the bag, and this is gone from the Woolery site. So I don't think they offer this anymore, and I can't even find the information. So that's a bit of a bummer, but this has been a delight to spin. Firstly, I have immediately been able with this one to spin a lot finer than I have with the wool, which is really exciting for me. I knit primarily with DK or fingering weight yarns. So I'm hoping that when I apply this together, because I'm going for a 2-ply, I'm really hoping that this will be a DK weight. We'll see. We'll see. There are definitely some spots that are pretty thick. I've really been working on my joins with this one, but they are pretty tragic if I'm being honest. So I think if I were to knit with this, I'd be cutting chunks out of the yarn, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, I have 2 bags of, I think, 250 grams in each of these bags. So I've just spun 125 grams onto this one, and I'm working back here. I'm working on another 125 grams on that one, and then I'll apply them together, and I'll decide if I want to do more, but this is the fiber. The colorway was called Mist. It was on sale, which is why I got it. It has these blues in it, and it's like purple and then blue, and then it has these purpley browns running through as well. It's pretty. I don't know what I'm gonna make out of this yarn. I literally never know, but I got it because I wanted to try something that had a plant fiber in it. And I think this is the only merino I have other than some Hello Yarn, because I am subscribed to that. And actually, I think I have some that I haven't shown you, but I'll do that next time. But yeah, I wanted to try something, and I think it's the bamboo that's making this pretty easy to spin, which makes me want to try more bamboo. It also has a really nice shine to it. So we'll see. I'm excited. It's been really fun. Like, I've been spinning this for a little while, almost every single day. I've been wanting to spin, which is the goal. Also, I am not in my creaky chair today. You're welcome. I moved it. It's normally in that corner. And I moved it so that I wouldn't be in the creak master. We'll just rearrange my room for this. It's fine. Other than that, I've been taking my weaving class. So I've done one weaving. We're not learning how to finish them until this upcoming Wednesday, which hopefully I can make it, because I am getting a root canal literally right before the class. My root canal appointment is at 4:30, and my class is at 6. And I asked my dentist, who is my uncle, how long do you think a root canal is going to take? And he said, well, if like someone who does root canals as their job was doing it, probably an hour. If I'm doing it, he's a prosthodontist, so he makes fake teeth and stuff. He was like, if I'm doing it, an hour and a half. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to be late. And I told my teacher, Andy Jacobs, I'll put her Instagram down below. She's a weaver, she's an artist, and a tattoo artist. So she did this tattoo that I have that looks very washed out right now. I promise it doesn't look like that in real life. It's beautiful. But I told her I was gonna be late, at least. So yeah, this is not finished, and hopefully I can make it to the class to learn how to finish it, but this is my very first one. We're just messing around, and honestly, this was like the sampler, so just like mess around, figure out what you like, do whatever you want. And then she was like, and then you can plan out your next one a little more. I don't think my next one's gonna be planned out either. I'm just gonna go off pure vibes, because I think that's what I would like in weaving. I like how a well planned out weaving looks as well. All my little ends are sticking to that tape. Like, she has a few that are just gorgeous, but I don't know if I'm there yet, because I don't really have a vision. So I went really thick and thin on this. I played with some texture. This is not my hand spun, but then up here I started using my hand spun. So all of this stuff. So you have like a few spots with like really crazy texture in there from when I was plying, like something crazy going on when I was plying. Ooh, there you go. Now you can see it. Like pigtails. I think that's what they call them. But I was like, that will be so cool sticking out in the weaving. So, sorry, I thought I heard something weird. I have some strange tinnitus that I have gone to and talked to a doctor about. Yeah, so that's what we're working with. I do think like up here with my hand spun makes this not ideal. So I did not grab this again. It's very shiny and very white. So I was like, I'm not going to use that. I'll just use my hand spun. They're basically the same. And I'm very excited to finish this. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. Absolutely no idea. But that is my first one. And all of this rag stuff will be gone. It's just a base because we're using a table loom, I think, a frame loom, sorry. And yeah, so it's just a base so that when you're pushing down, you're not going all the way to the bottom. You have something to push down against to create like a nice flat edge. So this is how far I've gotten in my second one. Not far at all. I'm using a green warp thread, which I'm pretty excited about. Honestly, the tension might be a little off, but it's fine. Yeah, that's what I've been working on. It's been really fun, and I don't think I have any yarn acquisitions. So that's good. I've been being good because Long Dog Yarns, someone put them on their Instagram stories, so I found them, and she's doing, I think her pronouns are she, her, but the person behind Long Dog Yarns is doing a Lord of the Rings inspired collection. So unfortunately, I've been drawn to it for the novelty and the fact that I've been rewatching the Lord of the Rings movies right now, so I'm really invested. So I have a big plan to shop that update, even though I know I shouldn't. But one yarn in particular called The Deep Breath Before the Plunge is based off of Minas Tirith right before the battle in Return of the King. That yarn takes my breath away. I want literally so much of it. I can't handle it. It's too beautiful. So I'll put a picture up of the shade also. And I was also thinking the Council of Elrond boucle, making one of those, because it would, my room is very blue. I have a mural. You can kind of see it there. But that has so much warmth while still being green. And I was like, that would be nice. Also, I have a Kappas pillow that is like the exact same shades, but I'm not buying 2 boucles because I don't need 2 of those pillows. I'm not doing it. So I'm just getting the Deep Breath Before the Plunge in that. I'm going to get enough probably to make one of these. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. What do I have going on? I think next week I'm going to meet with one of my friends who I play D&D with. We haven't been able to make D&D work for a while, but I think we're just going to meet for dinner. I have my character's backstory isn't really well fleshed out. So I was talking to them about it. I was like, if you have any suggestions, that would be great, because for some reason I made this character because I didn't really want to use my old character. We were like restarting the campaign. I didn't want to reuse my character from our previous little group. I thought it'd be more fun to try something else. She was a monk, and I do kind of regret that decision. I'd be really happy playing Emery still. I really enjoyed her as a character. I really liked her backstory, and I feel like that's not something that we ever reached resolution on, which is, it is what it is. But we were really getting into some spicy territory, and now we're not. She is actually an NPC in my current campaign. She's traveling with us up to her monastery now, which is very secretive, but I know a weird amount about it, but my character doesn't. So it's, yeah, but yeah, so my current character, I was like, I'm going to try a magic class. I'm a druid. And I've always been what's the word? I'm spacing on it right now. Like a physical fighting class. That's not incorrect, but I've been like a monk and a rogue and like all that stuff. Not a lot of magic going on. But I really wanted to branch out in my character. So I'm a druid, and yeah, she's just kind of like a sheltered girl who crafts a lot, which I'm like, yeah, that's me, but I need to make a better backstory. So I think I'm going to meet with my friend and DM next week for some lunch, and we're going to chat about it and just catch up. And then I have my weaving class. Yeah, that's all. Okay. I hope everyone has a really lovely weekend, since it's Friday today. And I mean, I don't know if it'll be Friday anymore when I upload this, but if I stop rambling so much, I'll probably be able to edit it faster. So yeah, I hope that everyone has a really nice weekend and a nice upcoming week. January's almost over, and then we're into our gloomy February, which is my birthday month. I have conflicted feelings about February as a birthday month, but at least I know a million people born in February, so I'm not alone in those conflicted feelings. Yeah, I hope everyone has a nice time, kind of enjoys whatever they're making right now, and finds some peace in this season. Okay, bye.